Hey guys.
Another night, another live.
Hey y'all. So good to see you all.
Welcome, guys.
Welcome to another night of amazing conversation. I'm really excited about tonight. So we want you to do us a favor, okay? And share this with at least five people. Okay.
Welcome.
Share it because it's going to be a really amazing conversation tonight. A conversation of journeying through loss, real people with real life transformation and restoration and healing and everything and all of the above. So
All that good stuff.
take this time to just share with your friends, your group chats,
Your WhatsApp group.
your cousins group chat, okay? Because I know we all got a cousins group chat.
What goes
share
on in
it.
yours?
What happens to that group chat stays in that
I
group
think
chat.
You have like how many group chats? You have a WhatsApp group with them. You have a
Group me.
group me. You have a
regular text message.
A regular text message group. Why? It's the same people.
Actually not.
Oh, so cousins, if you're listening,
different strokes for different folks.
Ooh. All right. Thank you guys for coming in. Just let us know if you can hear us okay.
Also, let us know where you're watching from. Okay. We always like to know
yes.
Where you guys are tuning in from. I know we got Jersey up in the building. I'm just going to give it some time for them to comment. I know we must have Brooklyn in the building. I'm going to give them some time to comment. But do we have Queens in the building? Because that's where we at. Do we got Queens heads in the building? Do we got? That was so not grammatically correct.
Oh, Detroit.
Okay, Detroit. I see you. We got Detroit in the house.
Marshall Ross from Detroit. Never been. Hopefully one time we'll be there. Sit with my sister. Okay. She's supporting her sister, Mrs. B. So that must be friends of our guests.
Thank you, Marshall, for joining us.
Thank you for pulling up. We'll have them up in just a few minutes, just letting these things to go up. So as you guys are coming, and as we were saying before, we have Queens. Queens is on Instagram.
All right, Queens. We got Atlanta.
Yes.
Atlanta
in the building, as always. My brother Anderson always supporting.
West Palm Beach in the house.
Oh, that's our.
Hey, Jennifer.
That's our guest's sister, little sister in the building. Welcome, Jen. While you're here, Jen, make sure you subscribe. All right.
You too, Marshall.
All the friends of our guests, make sure you guys are subscribing. You follow us. We have great content for you guys every single Wednesdays. We are on the live. We're gonna give it about no more than 2 more minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started. So, Ann, how was your week?
Yes, sir. My week was great. Well, it's actually just started, right?
Yeah.
But it's actually a pretty short week at work, which I'm kind of digging. You know, because state tests are upon us. Do you guys have kids in taking any tests this week?
Hi, Sarah Money. How are you? Nice to see you too.
Nice to see you.
We have North Carolina. Oh yeah, anybody taking
Jennifer
the state exams?
Subscribed. Yeah, any of your kids taking?
Feeling?
Yeah, like I mean, I had a little time to talk with some of my kids on the More Like You Kids today, just kind of encouraging them to just do their best. So like, I'm just hoping that you guys are just gonna I guess speak those. I mean, I guess cover your children in the morning.
Yeah,
that's what I want to say. Yeah. Cover them in the morning. Just pray for them and wish them well, and let them know it's just their best. We want their best, not for them to be, we don't need perfection. Just try their best.
Yeah,
right?
Because actually, I had to have that talk with my son. We're kind of transparent. I had to have a talk with my son. We had to talk with him last week about something that he did in school. And it kind of like hit me because he said he did what he did because he felt like
he didn't want to disappoint
us. And so, not to put his business out. And so he had us thinking, how often do we put too much pressure on the kids? So I had to explain to him it's okay to make a mistake. We're not looking for him to be perfect, but we are looking for him to strive and do his very best.
Just do your best. That's all we want.
And I also tell him, like, listen, I don't want anything when it comes to school or anything that you're doing. It's not your best because you're not trying. You're not preparing.
Let it be because you just don't understand.
You don't understand, and not anything else. So yeah. So, hey, we do our part, and then God does the rest. Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Right, we got Canada in the building.
Canada, G-Matic. G-Matic is up in here.
Yes.
Oh, Marshall is an educator. Are you a teacher specifically or a counselor like me? Yeah. So let us know.
All right, yo. I
All
think
right.
it's time to bring our guests on.
All right. So
Can we talk about them real quick?
let's talk about them real quick. We have our guests in the building, Mario and Schivane Bonham. These are some people we've known for a very long time. I know Mario.
Okay, Marshall. Okay.
I know Mario when it was a little tivacabon. Like it was a young dude. I see him laughing in the back. You know what I'm talking about. Young dude going to camp together.
Yes,
Oh man,
yes.
those camp days used to be so dope. And Mario and his crew be running the. It's like there's always prank wars going in camp that cause us to have issues and drama. It was always those pranks. But Mario's
that was the life
like,
of it all, though.
That was it. Mario's always been like this humble dude. It's like a giant teddy bear, big dude. But when he talks, pause, no diddy. But when he talks,
stupid.
When he talks, you wouldn't think he doesn't sound like his size. Very sweet dude. Love this guy. Very humble dude. And you want to talk about Schivane.
Yeah, Schivane is just so sweet. I actually met her through Mario because I knew Mario first. But Schivane has been such a sweet person ever since I known her. And if I know you're hearing this, Schivane, like you've never changed, like always been consistent. And those are people that I can really rock with, people that are genuine, people that are consistent and loving. And she's just always been that girl, like, who has always had to pour, something to pour into you, always had a word of encouragement. And so we appreciate them. We appreciate you guys as people and as a couple. And we're so excited to have you guys come on and share your story
Instagram
with the
folks,
world.
you guys cannot see the Instagram comments. You have some people on Instagram just showing love. Jazz VJ, those are my friends with like mad Z's. Irv, the power broker.
But I think they want to come on to see who's talking about. But I think they want to come on to.
They won't be able to see the Instagram.
Yeah, but I want their friends to see their reactions at least.
Yeah. All right. So without further ado, let's bring on our guest.
The Bonamis. I want to know how you guys say your name in English. How do you guys say your name? Like
in English, I say Bonhomme. I say no Bonhomme. Because growing up in school, like a lot of people used to jack my name up. They used to call me Bonhammer, all types of names.
I'm sure.
Like, I just say pronounce it how it looks, how it sounds.
Did you and just call y'all though? Bonamis.
Did you ever get that?
Yeah, I got that.
They call us the Bon Homies.
The Bon
Homies.
The Bon Homies. I like that one. What's up, y'all? Hey guys, show some love.
What's up?
Show some hearts, whatever reaction that you see in your platform, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Show some love to just welcome them on tonight.
Yes.
Yo, what's going on, guys? How y'all doing?
We're
good.
How are you guys?
We're good. Man. We got a big old cheesy smile on my face. I'm really excited to have you guys on tonight.
We're excited to be on with you guys tonight. And I saw you said, Marshall, that's my girl from Detroit.
Yep.
Yeah. He's representing.
Hey, listen, IG, if you want them to be able to see your comments, it's best to join the YouTube, but you find there because I can always, because you guys are getting mad hearts and stuff on IG.
You guys are love. Like, you guys are really a beautiful couple. Like, I want you guys to know. Beautiful people.
From Mika.
Mimi.
Jazz VJ. That's the IG handle. My little bro, Alex Frame, say family.
Irv the Power Broker.
Toy 324.
All right, y'all know them all. Geraldine, Phil. Yes.
Y'all getting a lot of love.
We love it.
Yeah, man. So thank you guys for joining. And it's gonna be a really great conversation. And I reached out to the Bonhams because our platform is to talk about love and relationship and marriage and all the different stages that people go through. And we will get into their story a little bit. And I'm like, I know their love must have been tested during that period, that season, and their marriage was tested. And I need people who might be going through some of the same thing that you guys have gone through, or going through it right now, or God forbid, might be going through it in the future, to hear your story and to also find strength in your story and how you made it so they can make it too. You know what I'm saying? So also, as you guys are here, make sure you follow us. We have to do the shameless plug.
That
Yeah, no, we got to do the shameless plug.
Go ahead, babe. Plug it in.
Follow us on all the platforms that we have right now, wherever you're watching from. You're gonna see, if you're on YouTube, you're gonna see a subscribe button. Right? Just hit it and hit that notification bell.
It's free.
Right? If you're on Facebook right now, there's something, like it, right? No.
And follow.
And follow us. So thank you guys. So let's get started.
I think before we even get into the story, can you guys just kind of let us know how you guys met?
That's where I was gonna go.
You were gonna go there.
That's where I was gonna go.
That's how we meant to be.
And the reason I was gonna go there because I want you to tell us the story, Schivane, and then Mario, I want you to tell us the truth.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Usually, there's like every time
there
we
he
have
goes.
Guests, there's always different versions
there
of the
he
story,
goes.
and it tends to be the male that have the truth. So let's go.
Go ahead.
Oh Lord. So we met. I'll say like I was on a journey. I think from maybe 2008, 2009. I was on this true love waits journey. I said, you know what, God, I'm gonna keep myself. I'm not beef for all these jokers out here. So I like made a vow at this church ceremony, and I was just like, God, let the next man that I meet be my husband. So I didn't really take that literal, like he was just about to fall like in my lap or whatever. But I went to a gospel concert at Seton Hall University, and I remember seeing this guy. He was with another girl, of course, but he was like pinned up on a wall, and I was like, "Ooh, he's handsome." We said hi to each other. I knew the girl, so we said hi to each other, and I kept it moving. But I always like, "Yo, he's handsome." So nothing transpired out of that. But I felt like that was God giving me a glimpse of my future. You know, sometimes.
Wait, while he was with the other shorty?
Yeah, he was with another shorty.
That's why I tell her don't count.
He was with another shorty. It's all right. But that's how we did meet. Like we said hi to each other. But fast forward, I think in 2011, I had published a poetry book, and I was like on Facebook, and I was just still on this journey. And this guy slid into my DM.
Okay.
My inbox.
My story.
I gotta tell my story.
Mario.
Somebody's asking, is the story right so far, Mario?
Well, the part about sliding into a DM, all the other ones.
So we didn't meet in 2009, and you don't remember that?
I didn't remember until after we got together.
Yeah, but it happened?
It happened.
Okay, were you with another girl?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So, Mario,
so she's telling the truth so far.
Your sister, Jennifer, is saying your face is telling it all.
It checks out. It was true. It happened. So he slid into my inbox on Facebook, and I don't know, it was some nice, cute message, and he was trying to shoot his shot, and I kind of shot him down and told him that I was focused on God. I didn't have no time for no jokers, but we could.
You said all that?
I didn't say that. But I was just telling him that I was really focused on God, and I didn't really have time at this moment, but we could still communicate with each other. We could still keep in touch. So he did just that. He kept reaching out on Facebook. And yeah, I think the rest is history. He asked me out to a coworker's wedding. That was our first date. He came, and then I was like, "Ooh," he asked me to a wedding. I was like, "Ooh, okay. All right." And so yeah, I think the rest is history. What you got to say?
Marshall over here starts causing trouble. About my sister.
Don't lie.
Yes, let
them know.
So, let's go back to the Seton Hall.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I was with someone else, and she knew the person. She started talking to her, but the proper thing is to say hello, and that's what you did. You just kept on with your conversation. We didn't lock eyes. We didn't share no moment or anything like that. So
what part of what I said?
That doesn't count as us meeting. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, all
right. Let me spit the truth. So I'm at my friend's house, and I go on my Facebook, and I just start scrolling, just looking at some ladies or whatever. So I come across her page. I was like, oh damn, she looked gorgeous or whatever. What attracted me most about her was her cheeks. Was like she has some nice cheeks. I was like, oh damn, she's beautiful.
Wait.
He's talking about
cheeks on her face.
Nice facial structure.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right,
Gotta make sure.
I couldn't just move forward. I had to like, slide in her DM and just send her a nice little message or whatever. And then she got back to me. She replied, said what she said. She's not looking for anybody. She's trying to focus on God or something like that. I was like, all right, cool. We could just be friends. So that's how it happened. We continue to converse or whatever. And then she was like, after a while, I think like a couple weeks or so, she's like, I'm not always on Facebook. Well, if you want to talk some more, here's my phone number. And then we can
Period.
continue.
Like,
slick.
No, I'm all for it.
That's very sleek, Schivane.
I'm here for it.
Listen.
Listen.
I mean,
period.
When we're talking about the level of pursuit, I feel like asking for a phone number is a little bit more pursuing-ish.
I didn't ask for his
number. She didn't ask for it.
I didn't ask for his number.
She said
no. He kept on reaching out. She was like, "Okay, here, just take it. Take my number."
She didn't say it like that.
I did. I'm not always on here. I'm not about to keep coming on Facebook, checking my messages.
Exactly.
Contact. And he reached out. He called 1 minute later.
Wow.
Oh.
It's
okay. It's okay, Mario.
Expeditiously.
You see commercial?
He accelerated his blessing.
You ever see that commercial? Let's play the replay. I wish we could do that. Let's play the
You were
replay.
at work.
See how it
You
really
didn't call
happened.
me right away.
I called you at night on my shift.
Exactly.
Like, I didn't call you right away.
Yes,
Mary. How long was it?
How long after I call her?
How long from we got the number to when you call?
I call her that night.
Hey, that night ain't.
You got it.
That night ain't right away.
It's a minute later, like.
Don't fool. Listen, it was. Wow, that was fast.
That's what I do when a dude asks me your number on the streets, and the chick don't want to talk to them. They give a fake number.
Yeah,
you
gotta check it.
Check to make sure it's working. Like she ain't leave a digit off. I feel you.
He was pressed. Don't pay him no mind. He was pressed.
Listen, it's okay. It's okay. You got what you wanted. Okay.
Here you are.
Period.
I am remembering the number 4 in your wedding. It's like 4th or something, right?
No, 5th.
5th, because I know it's close. Was it September?
Yes, 9/5.
Because it was close to Ann's birthday. Yeah. I feel like it was part of our week celebration.
Oh yeah, you guys definitely turned up at the wedding.
Oh man, that was a beautiful wedding.
Yes.
So how did you guys move from Mario calling you 30 seconds from the time that they got your phone number?
A minute, honey. A minute. Give it a minute.
To marriage. What was that journey like? How did you discover this was it for you?
The journey was beautiful, I would say. The journey of us dating to marriage was definitely beautiful. It had its like tumultuous moments, I'll say, because we come from different backgrounds, I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. His parents are diehard Christians, Haitian Christians at that. So we had different viewpoints or how can I say? We had different viewpoints of what marriage or what a family looked like. So, and then also we didn't understand or know the importance of like keeping people out of our business, not allowing family to have too much of an opinion in our journey. So there's a lot of things that we learned along the way, but it was definitely beautiful. We started dating, I believe, in 2011. We got engaged in 2014 and got married in 2015.
Wow. 4 years. So about 4 years.
Yeah, it was a 4-year journey. If I would have left it up to him, we would have probably been dating and engaged for like 20 years.
Please explain that.
Mario is a very particular person. I gotta have this before, and I get it. I respect it, but at the end of the day, sis didn't make no true love waits vow to be waiting for you to put a ring on it, and for you to know what you already say you know what God has showed you. So I didn't press him, but I knew that like we both knew that like we were like that we were for one another. God, like he made what did you do? You made you were in Haiti, right? And
Well, that was before we got together.
Yeah.
I was in Haiti in Jacmel. Like it was during the night. It was like, if you ever been to Jacmel, it was just beautiful, like the stars and everything. So I kind of made a wish or whatever. I think I said like around this time I'm gonna find the one, and like literally like next year, like I met her. Like God, like answered my prayers.
Wow.
Beautiful.
And I think that life happened hard for me, and I knew, like I said, that I wanted to feel safe with somebody. There were things that I went through in my life that I knew there were certain characteristics that I needed in a partner. And I knew that once my heart felt safe, once I felt safe, once I felt loved, and I felt seen, I knew that God sent me the one. And it doesn't mean that it's been easy. He gets on my first and last nerve.
Girl.
But I do know that this is definitely a love story curated by God.
Yeah.
I love it.
Oh, so good to hear.
I love it.
So how did your families kind of get or accept one another? Or was there
a big family?
You know, especially with the background that you shared, being that your parents were J-Dubs and Jehovah's Witnesses, and you know, it kind of just doesn't mesh always. So like, how did that work?
Well, I don't think it meshes in a sense. Like, I think that because remember, like the way that things would honestly mesh is holidays. And my family doesn't celebrate holidays. I feel like it's crazy because our dads actually know each other. They knew each other before we got married. And it that worked out. His dad worked at the nursing home that my mom used to work at, so they saw each other from time to time.
Okay.
I think the worlds don't mesh. I just think that like when we need them, they're there.
Yeah.
And I think there's like just a common respect and a love. Like my mom loves Mario, and because he loves Mario, they love like my mom and dad love Mario, and because they love him, whatever comes with him, they love, and I think it's the same vice versa.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we don't get the benefit of the merge worlds, like the Christmases, the holidays, the birthdays. We don't get that. We only get that on one side. But my parents like are really involved when it comes to like my kids. Like it's just gotta like merge in a sense. If that makes sense.
That's actually beautiful because typically, usually, especially when it comes to, oh my God, not even religion, I won't say denomination, there's always the strife that happened between the two families, but there's still like a lot of respect and love, as Marshall is saying, a lot of respect and support and boundaries being respected. So that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. And
like life is not cookie cutter, right? It's like everyone's story is not the same. And so like how you get it, like you kind of appreciate whatever you have and I guess look at the positives and not really focus on like what is not there.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to.
Yeah, but in your story, someone said he prayed for his wife. How many single men actually pray for their wife? So you're setting a trend, kind of like, right? Because that's what men need to do. Because like we always hear of women praying for their husband, but there are men out here praying for their wives.
Yeah.
So thanks for sharing that.
That was
Mario.
Steve, your fellow church member, TCC member. Is TCC in the building? I think TCC is in the building.
Our old family.
Yeah, the church family. How do we do that? I feel like it's a gang sign.
Hey, it's so easy.
It's just the heart. My heart looks crooked.
All right,
all right, y'all. So listen, we are about to get into the story, the journey of loss that the Bonhams so kindly join us to share. So it's time for you right now to just share with somebody if you haven't gotten the chance to do so. If you're just joining us, we have Mario and Schivane, and great friend of ours, and we are about to get into this conversation with them. So it's okay to get emotional on tonight. I'm gonna hold it up. I'm a thug, thug life. I've been a thug for 30 days.
He's gonna have some sweaty balls. I mean sweaty eyeballs.
Sweaty balls.
I meant to say sweaty eyeballs, babe.
Balls.
Because you didn't want to act like you're crying, so I meant to say sweaty eyeballs. That just came out too fast. I'm sorry, guys.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
And I see where your mind is.
Oh God, I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. That really just kind of slipped out. Okay.
Yo, I heard somebody wrote on Instagram. I heard word on the street is that girls from Jersey love men from Philly. Go Eagles.
Who y'all think that is?
Think that made that comment on Instagram?
Who is it? Vince.
That's definitely Vince. That's definitely Vince.
Woo!
So Let's get into the topic of why we are here on tonight for this conversation. So, obviously, when we get married, for most people, for most of us, I'll say a great percentage of us, we want to take the next step. The next step is to have children and start to build a family, right? But for a lot of people, it's not always easy. For example, for Ann and I, it took us about 3 years of trying before we were able to have Melody. But even with that, in that space of trying, God saw that we were not ready. Also, we didn't have our own space, whatever case. Maybe we kept trying, nothing happening, and was dealing with PCOS. You want to tell the people what that's about?
Well, PCOS is polycystic ovarian syndrome. And so that's where you have cysts on your ovaries. And so doctors, it kind of minimizes your chances of having children. My doctor was plain and said, you might not be able to have children. I was like, well, okay then. But you know, we're a praying family. We have faith, and so we took it to God in prayer. And it took 3 years, because right after we got married, we didn't want to necessarily wait, right? We went straight into it. Why did we do that? We were so young. But anyway, we didn't have Melody until 3 years later. Yeah. She was just a miracle. But I do know the struggle of kind of, you know, waiting, right? And really wanting something and not having it. But
so that was our story. And I know the Bonhams, your story was a little bit different, because not a little different, a lot different, because let's get into the story. Now you guys are married and you want to start your family. What was the time? What was your time frame like from the time? Okay, from the time we were married, you want to have kids. What was that time frame for you guys? That you in your goal.
What I'll say is that we got married in 2015. I think that when we were dating, engaged, having children was always something that we believed that God promised us. Like, we believed that God would be faithful to allow us to be fruitful and multiply. When we got married, we didn't necessarily protect ourselves and prevent pregnancy, but we always said, like, oh, we'll wait a little while and get acclimated, and then we'll start having children.
So Mario was just shooting.
God.
Yes.
Please excuse him. Okay, I forgot to make that disclaimer. Okay.
My returners, for my new people. Yeah, but for my returners, that's how, I know how I do.
All right, go ahead.
So we weren't preventing, but then we started paying attention, and we realized, wait, we're not preventing, but nothing is happening. So even though we weren't intentionally trying to have kids, because we saw that nothing was happening and we weren't wearing protection, we wasn't trying to like not get pregnant by watching ovulation and all that, we figured, okay, something must be wrong. So then we started being intentional, like, okay, let's track ovulation and let's just see if it will happen. And then we noticed that it didn't happen, and it kept not happening. So I was like, okay, I think I need to ask my OBGYN if something's wrong with me, because I don't get it. Because we always had in our mind, and I think when you're dating or when you're young, your parents always scare you into like some scare tactic of, oh, once you have sex, you're going to have a baby, you're going to get pregnant and have a baby. So we automatically thought that once we did, that it would happen that way. And unfortunately, it didn't happen. That wasn't the case. So when I went to the doctor, they didn't necessarily know what was wrong with us. And that wasn't a fertility doctor. That was just like my doctor. She said, like, you know, your cycles are regular. There doesn't on the outside look like anything that would be a hindrance to you. So just keep monitoring it. So we kept monitoring it. We kept paying attention. They even gave us like a medicine called Clomid that allows you to produce like more eggs and for like more eggs to drop. So we tried that. That didn't work. So then it was like, okay, let's go see a fertility doctor. So we went to go see like a bootleg fertility doctor. We didn't know it was bootleg at the time. He was like a fertility doctor and an OBGYN mixed in one, some old guy. Yeah, God rest his soul. He actually passed away. But yeah, he was like, he ran some blood tests on me, did a urine test, and then something came back. And then he came and he was like, ha 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 ha, you tricked me. And we were like, what? He's like, you're pregnant. And I'm like, I'm pregnant. And then he's like, yeah, you're pregnant. Your test came back positive. So,
like, why would he respond that way? Was it April? Was it April 1st?
That wasn't the first time. That was the second time. I'm sorry.
But was the appointment on April 1st? Like, why would he think?
No. So that wasn't the first time. The first. I'm sorry. We've had four miscarriages. So I'm like.
So wait, was it 4 miscarriages before having your first?
3 miscarriages before having my first. So we went to the fertility doctor, but no, I got pregnant first. I got pregnant naturally. Then I took a test. He came home. He had a blowed out tire, and he was like delayed. So I'm like, oh, let me run a Target. I got all of this stuff. I got everything, and then I got a book, set it up on the bed. So he came home, and then I told him that I was pregnant.
Well, I mean, I was having a horrible day that day. Like at work, it was just everything was going wrong. Then on my way home, I had my tire popped or whatever. So I was just having a horrible day. So I get home, and then she's all happy and giddy or whatever. I'm like, babe, not right now. I'm not not in the mood or whatever. But she's like, she put something like, she's very creative. She's always been or whatever. So she went and bought a couple of stuff like baby clothes or whatever. I forgot what it said, but it had a message like,
are you ready to change diapers?
Yeah, are you ready to change diapers? And I saw that, I was like, what? That just totally changed my mood. I was like, just happy at that point. I was just, right then and there, we just started like getting ready, like looking online, Amazon, purchasing baby stuff.
Listen, wasting no time.
But so then we were like, okay, this is our promise or whatever. We were really excited about being pregnant. And then the pregnancy kept progressing. But then the doctor, somehow, some way, I feel like it was like a miscarriage. And it was like a blighted ovum. And we kept getting like positive results at our appointment, but then we didn't necessarily see any growth. And they kept saying, oh, it's too early, up until we were like 12 weeks, 13 weeks. I'm like, well, this isn't normal. Like, I should already be seeing my baby grow. I should be seeing certain things. And the doctor that we went to just wasn't the best at the time. So then I remember going to church and having really, really strong cramps. And then I was telling Mara, like, I have really bad cramps. I don't think this is normal. He's like, you just came back from the doctor today. They said everything was fine, so you're good. I was like, yeah, but I don't feel good. And then shortly, within like an hour or two, I started bleeding. And then I realized that it wasn't a normal bleed. And then I remember at church, our old church, I sat down in the front and I was just like heartbroken because I felt like something was going to happen. And I remember them praying over me, but then I still didn't feel peace. I felt like something was happening, and went to the hospital. He was at work, so he met me at the hospital after. And I just remember feeling like my promise was taken away from me. We got to the hospital. Everybody was just kind of quiet when they were doing a lot of the testings. They weren't really saying anything, even during the ultrasound. Usually they engage with you. They were just really talking amongst themselves and really quiet. And I just remember a doctor coming in, and one doctor was just really, really like cold towards me, like really cold. And I remember asking, like, is my baby okay? And they were just telling us, like, you know, that we had to wait. And unfortunately that I wasn't pregnant anymore. I remember when they broke the news to me, it was really like, just like generic, like there's no heartbeat, there's no viable pregnancy. And I just remembered like being really, really angry. I remember looking at Mario, and he was just trying to keep it together. And I couldn't though. I just felt like God just like it was like a rug that was pulled from under us. It was like he gave us something and then he took it back.
Mm.
And I just remember feeling like, why us? Like we did everything right. We got married. We did everything the right way. We honor you. We go to church. We're good people. And I just felt like we were being punished. So I don't want to drag it out. But so after that miscarriage happened, and it was really dark for us. It was a really dark time for us. We kept trying. Like we weren't defeated. We kept trying to have a baby. And then we noticed that we weren't getting pregnant again. And then when we would get pregnant, we would just keep having reoccurrent miscarriages. We finally talked to my OBGYN and went to an actual fertility doctor, and they ran all the tests on both of us, and they just had no explanation. Usually you're waiting for a doctor to tell you have fibroids, PCOS, endometriosis, low sperm count, blockage, something. But we didn't have any solid, definite answer. So it was just like unexplained infertility. So we were just like, if you give us a problem, we can figure out how to fix it. But if there's no problem, like, what are we to do?
Yeah.
We still stayed with our fertility doctor.
It was normal. Like, this happens.
Yeah.
This is a normal process. It was saying your body, they were saying, the doctor was saying our body has to get used to one another.
Well, we didn't understand that because
wait, your body has to get used to his body?
Wait, I've never heard that before.
It was not the body, but the sperm and the
sperm
egg.
and
Yeah, that was what
is that even scientific? Or they just made that up?
He just said that just
try to get something.
Listen, that is also my other thing with doctors. Sometimes they say things that are not accurate. Sometimes they say things that they feel like sound scientific, but they're not, and they're not really helpful. So that was like another thing for us, like making sure that we found the right doctors that could help us in our, like, during our journey, because that doctor definitely didn't give us the right information. After we realized we kept having reoccurrent miscarriages, I remember going to see, remember that guy, the maternal fetal doctor? What was that black? He was black, he was African. And he was a scholar. He wrote books. He was this, he was that. And we were telling him, something's wrong with me, and I need you to tell me what it is. He was like, I've looked at everything. Nothing is wrong with you. This is normal. You're going to get pregnant. You're going to have a healthy baby. And I checked out of that conversation. I got on the phone. I checked out. So I was like, you're so arrogant. You're so harsh. You're so abrasive. You're not hearing me. I don't feel seen. So I checked out. And he was like, I understand you don't hear me right now. And he was really rough. But he's like, you're going to come back and you're going to say thank you. And then,
okay, wait. Let's just slow down for a second, because so the first miscarriage, you were 12 weeks pregnant.
Yeah,
and that was in 20.
That should have been discontinued probably
earlier,
a long time before that. Yeah.
So, and that was in what year? What year was that?
That was 2016, 2015 into 2016. Okay. No, it was 2016 because we got married in 2015. So that was 2016.
Okay, and so then you guys said right after you were trying again. So you got pregnant. How long after that?
Maybe like 6 to 7 months after.
Okay.
It wasn't right away, and that was by medicine. We did wind up getting pregnant on Clomid.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long was that pregnancy for?
Maybe like 7-8 weeks.
7-8 weeks. And did you bleed out again?
Huh?
You bled out again?
Yeah.
And then and so after that you tried again.
Yep.
Yeah.
What kept you guys trying though? I think that's a very good question. Like, because 3 miscarriages, that could be so traumatic, and having that always, I wonder. What kept you going?
I mean, I would say it's hope and faith that I believed that I was going to be a father. I was going to have a kid. I was going to have a child. So, like, you know, we didn't. I just believed. Like, I just kept trying. Like, babe, I know I was encouraging her. I know at that time she was like really depressed and discouraged. So I was just trying to, like, you know, be supportive for her emotionally, and also just, you know, just like reassuring her, like, God is gonna come through. Like, I know it for a fact. And also, I remember, like, it was this Haitian lady, because my mom has prayer groups or whatever.
Let's go. Yes.
At her house. I think every Saturday, this lady, they would come and they would pray or whatever. And this one time, this lady was in the kitchen. She was just talking to me. And she's like, yo, I see God's showing me you're going to have two, girl and a boy, 2 kids. I was like, I ain't think nothing. I was like, okay, I'm going to have twins? That's what I thought. That's what I thought she meant or whatever. I just held on to that. And I'm like, okay, I mean, God, that lady like shared that with me. I believe it or whatever. And then, we just kept trying until like we eventually had one.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's like, what kept us going is our love for each other and our hope and faith in God. Like our faith was definitely that thing that, like, I remember when I went through the first miscarriage, I listened to this song. I think it was by Hillary Scott, "Thy Will Be Done." I was so angry at God. I was like, I didn't want people would come and pray with me. I didn't want no parts because I'm like, yo, I felt like you just played me. I felt like you gave me something, you took it away. And
if we didn't share with people, if we just kept it ourselves, it wouldn't be as bad. But we shared with a lot of people.
And that's what I was thinking. There was during those time before you guys had kids. I think we end up being around each other more often than camp. There would be events that you guys would be at, and we will be at, whether it's in Jersey, whether in Jersey or in New York. And what was always so fascinating to me was Schivane. Mario's not a very expressive guy, but when Mario worships, he worships. But Schivane would still be like going in worship in spite of what was happening.
It was so powerful to see, like, from the outside, knowing the story, right? And just still seeing the faithfulness that you guys still had, even though there was a lot of pain and, confusion going on the inside, right? Maybe even anger, right? But you still were able to push through and just surrender to God. And so in times like these where couples, experience multiple losses, it tends to, cause some type of friction in the marriage, right? It tends to cause, maybe him not really understanding you because of the way you're responding or the way you're acting, or it just causes a lot of friction in relationships. Did that ever happen with you guys in the midst of the miscarriages?
I wouldn't say cause any friction. Actually did the opposite. Like we grew stronger.
Yeah.
She got stronger because of that. And I do remember though, like Schivane would beat herself a lot. Like, yo, I can't give you a child, this and that. Like, I'm not fit to be a mom. She would say things like that, and I would just be like, no, babe, we're gonna have a child. I also was confused, but I didn't want to like express that to her because to make it worse. So I would like, speak to like either my sister or my mom just to like tell them like, I don't know, maybe it's not meant to be, or whatever. Like we were gonna be parents one way or another, whether it's naturally or we adopt. Like we always talked about that. We was gonna adopt if we couldn't have any. But like, I believe like God was gonna come through. I didn't doubt or anything like that, but I was just more so like, trying to get her out of like depression mode.
Yeah,
beautiful.
It's hard, right? Because depression can make you shut out your partner. It can make you go into a complete isolation mode where you just don't want to be bothered by anybody at all. And I think that I went through my depression and I went through it in different ways. And I literally, what got me out was when I heard that song by Hillary Scott, "Thy Will Be Done." And I just realized, like, God does what he wants. Sometimes we don't know why, but after we went through it, we realized that God was preparing us. He was making us stronger, but he was also allowing me to go through something that I could share with other women.
He was giving you a story.
Yeah.
He's giving me a story. And I remember Sarah Jake saying one time, God will allow you to go through things to sharpshoot you into exactly the space that he desires for you. And I believe in my whole heart that I had to go through infertility so that I could walk through the journey that I'm walking through today to help people, to inspire people, to give people hope, and to also like debunk a lot of the myths that are around, whether religious or just practical myths around people who deal with infertility, and also people who go through IVF and IUIs and any fertility treatments. Because a lot of times you'll see in a lot of communities in the church community, people will tell you that you just don't trust God enough.
Talk about it.
And our families will tell us that, why are you putting your body through all of that? It's not that deep. I remember there were so many things that were said to us in our journey. And we had to get tunnel vision and to kind of block out all of the noise and realize that it's the two of us that are in this.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, whatever anybody else had to say, it did not take a higher place than what we said to each other and what God has promised us.
Beautiful.
I didn't take out my depression on him, but I beat myself up because I felt like maybe me going through this was a punishment. Maybe I did something in the past. Maybe my past is catching up like with me. And it wasn't until like I had a conversation with God after having that encounter with him, he reminded me, I am not pressed about your past. Like, I am not thinking or holding that against you. I am not that kind of God. I am not that kind of person. I'm not that in your life. Like, I'm a forgiving God. Like, and that I have this promise for you. And sometimes it doesn't happen when we want it to happen, but sometimes there's a purpose in the wait. Like, there was a
purpose in the wait.
Like, there was a purpose in the wait for us. We had to grow up. We had to grow stronger together. So at the end of the day, when tough times came, or like when we did get pregnant and something would happen in one of our screenings or something, we had this strong faith that we already pre-built and that foundation was already set beforehand. So we had to go through that. We had to wait. We had to grow up. We had to get stronger. And I know that there was purpose in our waiting.
Yeah.
And I know that at the end of the day, like, some people, it's hard to tell people to wait, trust God, wait on God. When you feel like the thing that your body is supposed to do, it's not doing it. The body is fruitful and multiply. It doesn't tell you that there are going to be delays. It doesn't tell you that, hey, you might have endometriosis, you might have fibroids, you might have PCOS, you might have unexplained infertility.
Yeah.
It doesn't say all of that. But what it does say is that God is faithful. And he will like bring you and guide you through it all. And that's what he did with us.
You're getting mad reaction on IG right now. A lot of hearts, fires, 100. I wish the platform we use does only simulcast comments from Facebook and YouTube. I wish you guys could see Instagram as well. The reason why I put up Shivane's handle, guys, is because she creates a lot of content on her Instagram about that process, and I believe she's become a big advocate for IVF. Also, we're going to talk about what's happening in the news recently too. But now let's fast forward just a little bit.
No, but that's why, and I feel like a lot of times God puts us in situations so that we can become the spokesperson, right? That story can become our platform and how we can help others, especially people of faith, right? Because we can not only speak to the scientific or research parts behind it, but we can speak to the faith behind it as well. So I love that.
And I definitely want you guys to follow her page. Sorry, Mario, but Schivane is a content creator.
I be like, yo, you don't be showing me no love on social media. He's like, when do you see me?
Right. He's like, he doesn't do anything on social media. Now
I'm already a videographer.
He just sends me reels all day. That's it.
That's what couples are for. That's what
No, but I definitely want you guys to follow Schivane. You're gonna get a lot of inspirational, informational things about her thing. Yeah. Right before we go to your let's go there. Now, maybe you could explain this better to me.
Okay.
The term. No. I want to do something first. Mario, one thing people don't know about us. I want to ask you how she's expressing how she's feeling as far as the woman and how she feels this, that, and the third about her ability to give you a child. How are you feeling in the moment as a man now, you don't know what to do? How do you comfort your wife in moments like this? You went through it 3 times prior to having your rainbow baby. That's the thing I want to explain a little bit more what that term, Schivane. But Mario, how did you feel going through that as the husband?
I guess I felt like defeated. I felt like that was just like the tough as a man, not being able to like help your wife fix it or whatever the situation is. to like, that's what we do, guys. Like, bro, your wife's dealing with something, having a problem, you come through, you handle it. Like, this situation was different. There's nothing I could do but wait on God. You know, I tried everything, you know, just to, you know, support, you know, be there for her, buy her favorite dessert, flowers. Nothing was working, you know. But I did like, you know, pray. One thing I did was pray to God. Like, I went in my little corner and just prayed, God, I know you're gonna come through for us. I know this is just a waiting period. Like, we trust in you, we believe in you. But like that, it was a tough moment. I didn't know, there's nothing I could have done but just to like continue, just to like reassure her, like, everything's gonna be all right, everything's gonna be good.
Yeah, because it was hard for me. I don't think people know Ann and I's story. We have 3 kids now: Melody, Owen, and then Bailey. Melody was born August 16th, 2009.
You guys are
Owen,
having a little bit of static, by the way.
oh, my bad. Is it? How is it? How is it now?
It's good. I don't hear it now.
Okay, good. So I probably was away. So Melody was born August 16th, 09. Owen came August 19th, 2010. Like a year and 3 days later, right? But then people see Bailey, who came 9 years later. What were we thinking? I don't know, but she's here, right? But in between Owen and Bailey, we also lost 2, right? So we could have been a family of 7 with 5 kids. And so those moments of those losses that Ed and I went through, it was hard, and I didn't even know how to comfort her either, right? And even though these were like 6 weeks, one of them she passed herself, and then the other one she had to go through the doctor and the DNC process. I often feel guilty telling people about our story because in my mind, I'm like, I should be thinking, well, at least you guys have 2, right? Because our miscarriages happen after the birth of our first 2, right? So I don't know if it like, I always feel guilty, like,
No.
Yeah, I mean,
guilty. A miscarriage, no matter if you have kids or if you don't have kids, is still a loss. It's still a child that you had that you already automatically loved. And the fact that you lost that child, that's still a valid moment in your life and a valid loss. So that's the one misconception that people have. Whether you have kids already, it's still a loss.
Yeah. People are saying the static is still there. Give me a second. How is it on your end? Can you guys hear us okay? Guys, if you, for those, everybody who's here, let us know. I'm trying to see if it's relative to the individuals or if everybody's having a hard time with the static. So we probably could switch the microphone to go through the computer versus our actual mic. So, hey, there goes one right there. What number is this?
2.
Number 2. It's always the middle one that I want you to interrupt.
That's the one.
Guys, talk back to us. Let us know how we're coming across. If we're good, so we're going to continue, or if we just need to switch up a little bit. How can you hear us? Okay.
We hear you. Okay. I don't hear the static right now.
Okay. I don't know if people are still hearing it.
And what was happening is that as you were talking, I heard something coming through the computer too. So I think that's what it was.
So they're saying it's good now. Okay. Great. So now you got your angel baby.
I just wanted to kind of say something. I think that really kind of, that static stuff broke up the kind of emotions that were kind of coming. So I'm glad, because I didn't really want to, because I really never
breathed.
I never, yeah.
And a lot of people don't grieve because they feel guilty. They hold that guilt in because they felt like, I should be thankful. I should be okay. I already have kids. Like, what am I being sad about? Like, and they feel guilty to even share it with other people because they feel like other people are going to say, well, at least you have 2, or at least you have 1. That is the worst thing that you can say to somebody, because at the end of the day, a loss is still a loss. Yeah. That child was already loved. The moment that you guys got those lines on that test, the moment it said pregnant, your hearts made space to love this child. So that whole misconception of where a miscarriage falls in line in terms of whether you have children or you don't have children, that is incorrect, because at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and we have to grieve each and every loss because it's a loss.
I feel like we just like maybe, and I think this is probably where I probably wasn't the best husband. I don't remember doing a lot of digging to ask Anna how she's
I don't
doing.
think we knew. I don't
Because
think
I
we
think in my
knew.
mind we were supposed. I think it's just like you just said. Like, okay, you guys have 2 kids already.
It's selfish of you. You got to be grateful.
Yeah.
Some people can't have it all. You know, you have 2. Like, why would you make this a big deal? Why would you even talk about it? You know what I mean?
I had doctors who said that to me. The last miscarriage that I had a medical professional say, "How many kids you have? 2? Well, at least you have 2. You're good."
Oh my God.
Excuse me? How dare you? Like, you don't know my story. You don't know what we've been through. You have no right to tell us at least you have.
Yeah.
One of my friends miscarried, and one of the nurses, the male nurses, said, "There are people dying in this hospital. Like, you need to wipe your tears. There's no reason for you to cry. There are people who are dying here." As if she didn't just experience a major loss. So
see that's the kind of stuff that will end up having me be in jail for assault. No, I'm so serious. If you say that, fortunately for us, I guess hindsight, we had a doctor who was actually the opposite. Ann's doctor was really, really great. He tried to use a lot of look on the bright side type of things, like things like you never know what could have happened, and maybe the pregnancy wouldn't have been viable. Anything could have happened. So he tried to use the timeline also try to give us a reality, but nothing to the move on or get over type of thing.
Yeah,
that's good. Because there is no time frame of getting over a loss.
Yeah.
And I don't think the pain or that absence goes away.
Yeah.
You just learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
That whole misconception of get over it, move forward. You just learn how to adapt and live with that.
Yeah.
We still find ways to honor the children that we lost. Like, I would honestly tell you that the miscarriage I had after them, in between, right before Preston, was the hardest miscarriage I've ever had. Like, broke me, almost took me all the way out. Like, that was the hardest miscarriage. And we already had 2 children.
Wow. And people who might be tuning in right now probably wondering, well, I thought this guys talks to you guys about love and relationships and marriages. And the reason why we're doing this, knowing your story, is because I was doing a little bit of research, looking up this information about the impact of miscarriages on marriages. And I discover usually about 22, 23, 30% of marriages end as a result of miscarriages, right? And it's not just so much so losing a child, but losing the baby, but it's everything that come along with that loss, how people will handle the feelings, the emotion, the depression, all that stuff that come along with it. It does have a very big impact on a marriage or relationship if you don't have a Mario around you, Schivane, who's understanding, okay, that I'm not taking anything, any reaction, any emotions you're giving me right now personally. And there are a lot of people who just don't know how to navigate those periods. And I also read that it's even worse if a stillbirth happened. A stillbirth impact a marriage 40% of the time, where it might end up being the end of that particular marriage. And it's crazy to think about, but it's just a reality of what's happening around the world. And so connecting it to what we do in terms of love talks is finding, and you guys as inspirational couple who've been through this 3 times before your first baby, and then one more time, and here you are. How many years later you're still going strong?
How many? We're 8 years. 8
years.
8 years in.
8 years.
8 years in. But what I'll say is, I think that there's just a very big misconception around infertility. And there are often, even the narratives out there, it's always like, well, whose fault is it? Is it the woman's fault or is it the man's fault? At the end of the day, when you become one, it is our issue. It's not your issue or my issue. Like, I remember Mario had so much anxiety going in to get his sperm count. It was so much anxiety around that because it challenges manhood. But then I had to make him realize that if something is wrong with your sperm count or whatever that result is, at the end of the day, it's our issue to fix. I will never look at you and say that, hey, you have a problem. And I pray that you never look at me if something's wrong with me and say it's your fault. And I'm thankful that we kind of got rid of those thinkings early on, because at the end of the day, it's our marriage, our issues, and we're gonna work together to fix whatever comes our way. And thankfully, I wouldn't even say thankfully, they didn't give us an issue. They just was like unexplained, which made us feel even worse.
Yeah.
And there's so much formula that goes into that, right? Communication, understanding, empathy.
Empathy is big. And I think what was wrong is that there was a lack of a lack of knowledge, a lack of transparency within our communities or within our villages. People weren't really sharing their stories. I think that a lot of times when we're going through something, we keep it to ourselves, either out of embarrassment or not wanting people to know our business. But we felt like if more people were telling their stories, that we would have felt seen and we would have felt like we were less alone.
Yeah.
There were people talking about it. It was very, very
you kept
slim.
It went from when you gonna get married, then we get married. Oh, when you gonna have kids? And we got kids. We got like 3 kids now. I'm like, okay, when you gonna stop having kids?
Right. It's almost like there needs to be like a class on etiquette. Like what not to say, like, or what not to ask. Like, you don't know what someone is going through. Yeah, it took you guys a long time to have kids because you just couldn't in the moment. So hearing when you're gonna have kids, I'm sure it triggered a lot of emotions.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and so it's like people just have to understand. Like, you gotta shut your mouth.
You gotta shut your mouth. I remember one of the holidays I went to his family's house, and I think I had just had a miscarriage, and I remember like telling Mara, I do not want to go. Like, I don't want to go. I know what they're going to ask me. I don't want to go. And then, sure enough, it was probably the worst year of comments of, when are you going to have kids? Where you sleep at night? You ain't having sex with your man? What is happening? It was just like, I wanted to punch people in their face.
And I think people just deserve to get a punch. Like,
and then I would be wrong, right?
Right. Like, well, mad black woman. No, leave me alone.
It's hard. It's really hard. And I get it. People, that's what we see in society, right? First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes
the baby carriage.
But at the end of the day, it's nobody's business.
It's nobody's business.
Some people may just not want kids.
Right.
Some people may not be able to ever have children.
Yeah.
And it's not your business. It's not your business to pry or ask questions. And it was hard. But I also, my desire for the male community is that men start to share more, so that they also have more accountability and support amongst each other, because Mario didn't have that. He didn't have a lot of people that either understood what he was going through or that went through what he was going through.
Yeah.
Stephen actually mentioned that earlier in one of the comments about, that space for men to be able to have that. But now we are here. We are here.
Come on, Jesus.
Come on, let's talk about these.
Come on, Jesus.
Let's talk about these rainbow babies.
Oh, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're beautiful.
Mariah's 4. She's in the middle. And we had her after going through 3 cycles of IUI, one cycle of IVF, but 2 transfers later led us to Mariah.
Oh, wow.
Then we thought that we wouldn't be able to have children naturally. So we just wasn't protecting ourselves, and Mario just was acting recklessly.
You know why? Because like how we had the first one, I thought we would have to go through the same process.
Because we still actually have like embryos that are on ice, like because we just thought that we would have to keep going that to have children. So after Mariah, I think it was like 5 or 6 months postpartum, I like was having I wanted a glass of wine, and I remember going to the liquor store and getting me a bottle of Moscato, and then I was like, I don't feel so good.
Uh-oh.
Literally went to go take a test, and that thing was bright, pregnant.
Wow. And this is naturally.
I
Wow.
remember, like, I sent a picture of my test to one of my girlfriends in Maryland, and I was like, what the heck? And then that's when, like, I was like, Mario, we got a problem. But
a problem. You saw the problem.
That's what it is. So yeah, that came Kamari. Mario's a sniper. I can't. That came Kamari. After Kamari, that's when we had the most difficult miscarriage out of the 4 that we've ever had. That almost took me out. They literally had to keep giving me medication after medication after medication to try to, because my body did not want to reject the baby.
Oh, wow.
And I went through a deep, dark depression. I even started drinking. I started drinking. It was bad. Like, and no one knew around me. And that, like, that was scary. That, like, no one knew that I was in this deep, dark depression. But I'm thankful that God took me out. And he healed me. He delivered me from that depression. I'm so thankful because that was the darkest time of my life, and I didn't think that I was gonna make it.
How did what he said?
He's like, when did you start drinking? You knew I was drinking 2 shots. Don't do that.
How did that affect? I mean, did your children take noticing to it, or?
I don't think so. I think our kids are really young. They're 3, they're 2.
Yeah.
They were 3 and 2 at the time. I think it was hard for me because even when I was in a lot of pain, they still needed me. So I think that was even harder for me. Like I felt like I didn't have the time to adequately grieve the loss.
Yeah.
But then, sure enough, we found out that we were pregnant with Preston, and he was our little blessing baby. Like, we didn't expect him. We didn't anticipate him, but he came in, and he is such a beautiful light in our lives. And he's everything to us. And even his life is a testimony because
beautiful.
He was born with a true knot in his umbilical cord. So yeah, after years of trying IVF, IUIs, God finally gave us 3 beautiful children. And I know that a lot of times people see that picture and they're like, wait, why are you such a big advocate for infertility? You have 3 kids. That wasn't always my story.
That wasn't always your story.
It wasn't always my story. And at the end of the day, the fight doesn't end just because I have that picture.
Yeah.
My desire, my passion will always go towards people who are going through something that feel alone. Like that's my deepest desire, is to make sure that no one feels alone and bring awareness and advocacy, because even insurance companies should cover infertility because it's literally a disease. It's a sickness.
Wow.
But insurance companies are not offering adequate coverage for fertility treatments.
And these treatments are expensive.
They're expensive. They're $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And adoption is even more expensive than that. So when someone has a desire to have a kid and they don't have it, what are they to do?
So much for the pro-life advocates, right? But anyway,
and then when God tells you to be fruitful and multiply, and there are states that are literally trying to rob us of those choices, that's when I know that I gotta use and amplify my voice at all costs.
Let's go. And that's why I want you guys to
given right for us to be fruitful and multiply.
That's why I want you guys to definitely follow Schivane, because she's on it. Just the
no man, no law.
You're right.
You know,
you cannot do what you got to do to get pregnant. Okay.
I do have a comment on Instagram, and I would like for you guys to talk to Kaboom. It said, until this day, my wife and I haven't spoken about us losing babies until this day. So I don't know how many babies it was, Kaboom, and how long ago it's been, or if we have kids now. So what would you say to someone like Kaboom _KBV, who him and his partner till this day, I'm not sure. Hopefully, he's still there. Could comment. Who have not really spoken to each other about those losses.
Like I said before, a loss is a loss, and sometimes we feel like I'm going through therapy now, and I find that the best, like the route for therapy is to go back to move forward. And sometimes we feel like we don't want to go back. We don't want to dig it up. We want to leave what's behind because why would I want to relive that? But I feel like we owe ourselves the opportunity to properly breathe and heal and move forward. And
I didn't expect that response from Ann just now. Like
I don't think I even expected it because we really don't talk about it. We haven't really spoken about it. So like
that's common, right? Because you have to do like life is normal. You gotta keep it moving. You gotta keep going. But at the end of the day, while life is happening and you're moving forward, that pain and that hole or that space, that void, it still exists.
Yeah.
And I know that like sometimes we're like, oh, we're fine. We just move forward. But moving forward just means that you're moving forward. But that pain or what that traumatic experience, that's just trauma. Like most people don't realize losing a baby is a trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Any trauma that you experience, it needs to deal, like you need to deal with it properly and to heal from it. Because if you don't, it will come back and hit you like a ton of bricks. And I think that's why my last miscarriage almost took me out, because I've always had to be this person that has to always be strong for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So I always had to move on, because how dare I let people see me, and I'm encouraging people. So I felt like I had to keep it moving. That last miscarriage showed me that you didn't heal from any of the losses before. And I'm going to let you sit in this. I'm going to let you feel every single thing. I'm going to let you feel the losses. And I felt that thing like a ton of bricks. And I'm so thankful that right now I'm in therapy, and I'm not just dealing with that, but just dealing with my life and everything in a whole, and gaining this new perspective and understanding about the importance of going back to move forward.
Yeah.
And changing the narrative. Changing the narrative is powerful. You can literally go back and say, you know what? Maybe it wasn't time for us. Maybe XYZ. Maybe, and then allow you to feel and heal from that, to give it some type of perspective other than I'm gonna just move on.
Yeah. And kind of validate those feelings, like
real.
Own them, right? Yeah.
Do that.
Yeah.
Kaboom responded. He said it was 2 babies, and it's been 3 to 4 years.
Wow.
On Instagram. So definitely, my brother, if as you're listening, it's super important to go backwards before moving forward. So you know,
and it doesn't have to be as deep.
Yeah.
Just literally just be just having a conversation and understanding that it's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. Neither of you did anything wrong. At the end of the day, miscarriages are common. They happen. 1 in 8. It's 1 in 8. So that means that if you have a group of friends of 10 people, there are most likely 1 to 2 people that are dealing with some sort of infertility issues. At the end of the day, like, it's not just you. And I think that when we realize and we take that pressure off of ourselves, where we think something's wrong with me, I'm broken, my body's broken, it's not doing what it's supposed to do, and realizing that it does happen, it's very common, that we give ourselves this level of relief, and like it it allows us to move forward in healing, and not just move forward and leave it behind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like there should be a conversation. There should be like that intimate moment of just, it's not your fault. We didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing that we could change about that circumstance to undo it. So that's what I'll say. What do you think?
I'll say that I feel like it's important to, like, you know, people that's going through a miscarriage or whatever. It's important to share your testimony, your stories. Because, like, when we were going through experience all these miscarriages, we were looking for, like, online all over the place to see, okay, has anybody gone through this? Has anybody shared their stories? Okay, any success stories? I felt like if people would have shared that, we would have, like, saw that. that would have like, you know, put us at ease and, you know, give us like hope that, okay, yeah, we will have this is what this person did to have a you know, a child, whatever. So I feel like people go online, they share the stories, or you don't know how that could have,
or even in your circle.
How could that bless someone else?
Even in your circle, you could have a conversation with somebody else, and you'll be surprised. They'd be like, "Wait, y'all went through it too?"
Yeah.
Marriage, or we went through it. So and so, like sometimes we're gatekeepers of our own stories and testimonies, and if we would really share more often, there could be so much more healing and release, and we could benefit from it so much more than what we think. Like I know we think that people are judging us and waiting for an opportunity to talk about us, but there's a lot of healing and sharing and amplifying your voice.
I know. There was this one lady. She said she went through 7 miscarriages. Or whatever. I think like she spoke to someone else who went through like something similar, and they said this is what they did, or they had a cyst or something like that. And then she went to the doctor. She mentioned that, and they did that. They removed it. She was able to have a child.
Just through sharing, the power of the share.
But let me tell you something also. Because of me sharing my story, I've been able to help a lot of people who have been dealing with infertility, and they're now moms and dads of children. And that's no testament of me. That's just testament of our testimonies and information and connecting people to positive and good resources. That has nothing to do with Schivane, but everything to do with being able to say, God, this is your story. I'm going to share your story. I'm going to share the resources that you've allowed us to access. Even my fertility doctor, like I have her cell phone number. Like I literally be texting her like, yo, I just sent you a referral. Take care of my peoples. And she is like as good as gold. And the crazy thing is she doesn't look like me, but she treats me like she sees me, hears me, and that I'm somebody. And for me, that's all that I need is to be heard and seen and felt like I'm your sister or your cousin or someone that you love when you treat me. So
even N's doctor before Melody, her initial doctor was a referral because her and her friend at that time spoke about PCOS. And then her friend was like, you know what? I go to this doctor who specializes in that. And then that doctor was able to tell N, this is what you need to do. But we should not. We have to be mindful not to
be gatekeepers.
Or suffer in silence. But one thing I also want to say is I made a big mistake a couple of years ago, because even in the process of trying to be encouraging, we have to be careful what we say to people. Also, I remember, Schivane, I could say, you know, God knew what He was doing to allow you to go through this because now you are helping so many people. I said the same thing to a very close friend of ours who just lost her baby. That was a dagger.
But the way you said, you were like,
God know who to allow this, because N was also pregnant. We're literally at the same appointment sitting together when that person told us, I don't feel a heartbeat. And she was about 8 months waiting on the first child. And then when we were going to visit her in the hospital, I said it like, that was such a dagger. It hurts so much. Like, okay, you can say this to me because you guys are okay. You're about to give birth in a few months. I felt so guilty after that, and we made up eventually, but that was really, really hurtful.
But your intention behind it was trying to encourage her and saying, "Well, you must be strong, right?"
Because she was being so strong. So I thought, like, she was encouraging us while we were in the hospital. And I made that comment.
But it's like when you know better, now you do better, right? It's almost like now you just say nothing. Like, but what can you say, right? What can you say? Because like if you want to offer some type of support or words of encouragement, what can we say? Because we already know what not to say, right? But what can we say to people who are going through and you just want to be that support, that friend, that ear.
Mario's just going to get the little one.
No problem.
We know.
I think honestly, it's really tough, right? It's a real gray area of what you can say. The number one advice I tell people is to be present. Presence is the biggest present that you can offer someone. And sometimes people just want you to just sit in silence with them. Sometimes people just, there are certain gifts that you can send. Like I remember I went through something and one of our friends sent us this box of comfort. and it had a blanket, it had a book, it had tea, it had a cookie, and it was and it was like everything for us. It was everything for me because I felt like this is so subtle, but it's so like needed. I think that you could just tell people that you love them. Tell people that you're praying for them. Tell people that like, I see you, I hear you. Like, you know, if you like, don't ask people what they need. Don't ask them, tell me what you need and I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
People don't want to think. People are not thinking. If you want to make a nice gesture, if you want to send flowers,
just do it.
There are a lot of gifts that you can send that are associated with infertility, that are associated with miscarriages. Just send something. If you and honestly, I'm big on care packages. I'm big on personalized gifts. So if you know somebody and you know what they like, just send them a bunch of things that they like that you know will warm their heart and make them happy. People know about God's timing. People know that this happens to a lot of people. People know that, you know, God must be preparing you for something greater or something. People don't want to hear that. They know what the word of God says. They know all of that. What they just need is just comfort and love. Like, if you want to listen, just listen. If you're going to go sit with them, sit with them. If you want to send them some food, DoorDash gift cards, Uber Eats gift cards, those things speak volume because it's not so in your face and asking them, what can I do? But you're taking an action and you're showing that you're present and that you're there. And that's my recommendation.
Definitely connect with Schivane, guys. I know the hours pressed. I have one more thing. I want to give you the platform for just a couple of minutes. Just talk about. It's not a political. Our platform is not political at all. But we know IVF is in the news right now.
Yeah.
Can you educate us a little bit about that, and you know, what's your stance on it, and what's that? And probably don't even know what. Like, what are you talking about?
You didn't tell me, babe.
So
he's my news. I get my news from him.
Follow Roe v. Wade, IVF, like bills are passing and stuff like that. So go ahead and talk to us about that, Schivane, a little bit.
Well, if you know anything about politics, they are always infringing themselves upon things that have nothing to do with politics. Unfortunately, within the last few months, IVF has been in the news in regards to a lot of states.
And what's IVF? The acronym, let some people know.
In vitro.
Yeah.
In vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
So what that means is that, and a lot of people don't know, it's literally a procedure that you go through a cycle where you're taking pills, you're taking injections for your body to create. He's like, mom.
It's okay.
For your body to create eggs, create eggs, So when they do, they extract your eggs. They have already gotten your partner's semen, so they combine it together, which creates an embryo. And then what happens is then they transfer the embryo into the woman. You actually see it happening like on the screen, the implantation of the actual embryo into you. And then you wait a period of time, and then they tell you if you're pregnant or not. Unfortunately, a lot of the states were saying that, they were saying that IVF, like they were counting embryos as a person, like, and they were and unfortunately, it just doesn't make any type of sense. Thankfully, I think that there are a lot of people, there are a lot of organizations that are doing a lot of great work to protect the rights of people that are going through fertility treatments. And I think that what's it going to require for us, without me saying too much, is for us to go out and vote, and for us to get out there and to get involved and find out what like, how does this affect me? And sometimes people be like, it doesn't affect me. It might not affect you today, but it might affect you tomorrow. And it might affect your loved one or your friend. So the very thing that we're turning a blind eye or turning our ears off to, because I already have kids, might affect your kids. Yeah. Might affect your family members or your friends' children. So definitely get informed. Definitely advocate. If you see something online, definitely share it. Like, it's so free to share information. And I really wonder why people feel like they don't want to share information.
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. So I really encourage people get involved in your local politics, find out what's happening in terms of like with the government, the laws, and also with our advocacy. Talk to your jobs. If you're close to your HR department or your jobs, let them know like, hey, what's your infertility or your fertility policy? Encouraging them to change policies and endorse infertility treatments, because there's so many people that are on a workforce that have no coverage for fertility treatments, which makes no sense. Thankfully, I worked at a job. I worked for the Partnership of Maternal and Child Health for a few years, and their policy, their fertility policy through the insurance was really good, and that's what allowed us to have a lot of help when we were having Mariah. So I am so thankful for jobs that are doing their thing and making sure that their coverage, because infertility is not optional. It's a disease.
Yeah.
It's PCOS, fibroids. There's so many unexplained infertility, people who have low sperm counts, blockages, cysts. Like there's so many different reasons as to why you can be hindered to having a child. So I just think that we just need a lot more awareness, people using their platforms. That's why like Black Maternal Health Week is starting tomorrow, and I have like a whole week lineup. And also speaking about that too, like bringing awareness to infertility, but also to Black maternal care, so that we're doing our justice in terms of holding jobs accountable, holding our policymakers, politicians accountable, and that we're holding ourselves accountable by getting involved and knowing what's happening in the world.
Yeah,
it's important for us to know and for us to get involved and go out and vote. And sometimes I'm just gonna say, don't listen to everything that you read. Don't listen to headlines. Actually go and do research.
Read the article.
Find out.
Or just read the article.
Yes, find out people's stance, because sometimes we just go into the shade room or the spiritual word, and then whatever their headline is, we run with it.
That becomes our news.
Yeah. And it's not news.
Yeah. But on what you're saying also, let's really be pro-life. Like, let's really be pro-life in its very definition. That is the care that the mothers need. Yeah. That is everything. Let's not just let me stop. Well,
I can go on for days about this. I definitely just want people to just be kind, but also do what you would want done for you.
Yeah.
Like, do what you would want done for you. Choose how you would want someone to choose for you. Like that's honestly like my viewpoint. I just want us to do better and just to be
better.
So before, because we know the babies are up and they're like they need your attention, but like just kind of talk about your platform now and like what you do and how you
do that. As you do that, also please talk about, you guys were on Ellen?
Yeah, we were on the Ellen.
The Ellen show.
You guys were on Ellen's show.
Gosh,
okay, I'll talk about that as well.
Let's connect that.
The Ellen show, and then talk about your platform and what you do now and how you help moms like you.
Awesome. So we were on the Ellen show a few years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And the crazy thing is, how it happened was kind of crazy. I think I wrote Ellen a few times, and it was like for certain things, like, you know, when she was having certain mother shows or certain show, like say, tell Ellen what you're doing in the community, or it was like different things. So I would write letters from time to time, me thinking that nobody ever gonna see this out of the million, billions, and trillions of people who probably write her show. And one day I was at work. And then I got a call, and I think we were recording a service, and during COVID, and I was like, yo, it was like a Wisconsin or a Minnesota or Wisconsin number. I'm like, yo, this is a bill collector. I ain't got it. If I ain't got it, you ain't got it. So I picked up surprisingly, and then he was like, hi, and he was like, I'm calling from the Ellen show. I was like,
please, what scam is this?
What scam? I am not giving you no information. And he was like, I'm telling you, I'm calling for the Ellen show. I can tell you what you wrote in. I can tell you your name and information. I was like, yeah, hackers could do that too.
Whoa, you really?
If you spoke to him, he would tell you the same thing. He would be like, yo, You literally did not believe that I was going to. And then he was like, okay, I'm going to send you an email so we could do a live. I still thought it was capped. He sent us the link. We did this live with the kids, and then they fell in love with us. And then this whole time, we didn't know we were going to be on the Ellen show. We just thought that we were going to be in the audience. They never told us from beginning to end that we were going to be on the show. We just thought the game. Yeah, thought we were going to be a part of some game in the audience. So we were like, okay, cool. They kept asking us for information, asking us for pictures, me thinking they just need to verify information. And then they sent us this box. They sent us this huge suitcase with all this equipment. And then they were like, do not open it at all costs. I'm like, yo, this thing probably got an alarm on it. I ain't going to touch it. And I'm not about to mess up no game. So the day came where we had to be on the show, and we couldn't tell people, I think, until the day before to watch the show. So they call us, they've prepped us and asked us questions, and we're like, why are they doing all this? Like, why are they prepping us and making us repeat stuff? And it was a lot, but we were like, okay, we're gonna be in the audience, whatever. So we get a call, and then my phone rings. I didn't know that they could see me, and it was Ellen on the phone. And we were on the show, and the reason why they selected us was because of our infertility story, but the fact that I was still doing a lot in the community and helping a lot of people while still going through like our own journey.
Going through.
Yeah, so it was really a blessing, and what that taught me was that I was seen. What I went through wasn't just something that I went through, but that other people were watching me, and that they were they were pleased. And I felt like in that moment I was like, okay, I felt like God was pleased, because I'm not just using this for myself, but to help other people. So we were on the show, and that was such an amazing experience for us. We're still really cool with the directors, like some of the directors, like on the show. So it was a really big blessing. And they did give us a car.
Yes.
So yeah, we're just so thankful. Honestly, we're thankful that God saw fit to shuffle our names into the list, because there's trillions of people who write that. So yeah, we're just thankful that our name was chose. But about my platform, so I believe that I go through things to help other people. So before, I had this platform called Beautifully Empowered, and I used to just, Marshall said, shout out to you for being such a supportive husband through it all. Through it all, I just kind of knew that, okay, I wanted to help people learn to love themselves because of my past of not knowing my self-worth and the importance of loving myself. But I didn't know it would take a turn into like me not just doing that, but helping people through infertility, helping them through motherhood, and also like being an advocate for Black maternal health. Now I have a platform. It's just my name. It's Schivane Bonhomme. It's my brand. Believe Again with Vonnie B. And what I do is I help people navigate through infertility. I am a doula. I'm a certified doula. So yay! So now I help birth babies into the world. But what's important about that is that
Sit on the board.
Oh yeah, I'm on a board. I'm on a board at a hospital.
My God.
You just say that so matter of factly, like it's not a big deal. That's a big deal.
I'm on a board. I'm like, yeah, I'm on board.
I know, that's so cool. Amazing.
And it's just all about shifting the narrative, right? It's about having a seat at the table and making sure that my voice and that someone that looks like us is fighting for people like us, and people of color. So I do that. In addition to that, I just I mentor and I encourage people, and I speak at events and different things. So I'm a birth educator, doula, Black maternal health advocate, infertility advocate, and what? Oh, and he's just trying to drop.
He's telling everything. What else?
So because of this deficit. Well, you can tell them about the cards. I'll get it so I can show them a preview.
Okay, go ahead. What? Tell us.
She has cards, affirmation cards that she's coming out with. She had someone design it, she illustrate it, and then she's sending it out to China. So they're producing a whole bunch of cards for it. It's gonna come out soon. But we're in like getting it trademark and copyrighted, all that stuff.
Let's go. Let's go. Listen,
you know what's crazy, Mario? Go ahead, babe. I'm sorry.
Everything that God allows us to go through, it goes back to her, to what she said. There was purpose in the wait, right? There was purpose in the wait. He turned your pain into your purpose, and you're allowing this to serve others now. You didn't keep it to yourself, right? But you're allowing this to serve others in so many different capacities, and I'm just like so happy for you guys.
Amazing.
So you guys are getting a sneak peek at what it looks
Hey,
like.
listen, you got to hear first, okay? Hear first on Love Talks with the Garcons. What does it say?
Hey sis, believe again. Fertility affirmation card.
Come on.
It's dope.
Yo, but listen.
Yes.
Wait.
That's beautiful.
Come on.
Not giving the target, y'all.
Y'all, can we give it up?
QR code.
So yes.
Let's
So this is a whole deck of cards. It's
Sis, I like that.
That's good.
So yeah, so
you're getting love on the IG with the fire.
Come on.
Like
that is everything.
Beautiful.
And you know what? This is what I want to say, right? Some people, this is not your story. But I know that you know someone that this story is for. You know what I mean? And that's the power of the share, right? It may not be for you. It may not be something that you're going through. But even when these cards come out and you say, okay, I don't need these affirmations for myself, get it anyway. Because because it's 1 in 8, right? You said 1 in 8 women. You are going to encounter a friend that needs this. And just in time, bam, I got something for you.
And it could be that.
And I'm excited. Yeah. So in addition to that, I have merch. Oh my god!
Hey, come on!
What is it? God is greater.
It says, "Dear Infertility, God is greater."
So that's like my whole thing, because at the end of the day, infertility looks like this mountain that you never feel like you can get across. Like you never feel like you can climb it. But with God, all things are possible. And it might not happen when you want it to happen, but at the end of the day, God's got you. Find a sisterhood. Find a support system. Find your village of people.
Yes, your tribe.
And at the end of the day, like God's got you. Like, don't be silent about it. Don't feel like you're alone in this. You're not alone. There are so many people on the exact same journey, and that is not to diminish or to not validate what you're going through, but that is just to give you a level of peace that you're not alone in this. And at the end of the day, that God's got us.
God is greater.
Family is just a testimony. But at the end of the day, I'm still in this fight. I'm still fighting. I'm still advocating, because it's bigger than me. It's bigger than anything that I'm doing. It's about what God is doing. And I'm just excited because I never really saw myself in this space. I never saw myself as somebody that could fight for other people, because I've always been someone that had low self-esteem, someone that wasn't sure about themselves, someone that doubted themselves. But to now be in a space where I've come to know me, love me, and appreciate me, and now that I can use what I've gone through to help other people, it literally just shows me how good God is and how he can change the trajectory of your life, and that he will use every single thing for his good and also for yours. So I'm just excited about the future, and I'm excited that no one has to go through this alone. So if you know somebody going through infertility, get my number. You can give them my number, my email, and so that I can encourage them.
Somebody just text me for your information too.
Oh, awesome!
So I'm gonna give her your direct number. I kept flashing your handle because she kept asking in the comment, but I don't think she realized I was flashing the handles. I'm gonna give her a direct number.
Okay.
And it's Marshall was saying that it seemed looking really good these days.
Yeah. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, hey.
Just before we close, this season of my life is probably the toughest season that I've gone through these last few months. I've made a lot of shifts. I've made a lot of adjustments. But one thing I'll say, in the midst of the adjustments, I'm doing so much work on me and getting closer to God and also closer to what he wants me to do and be, that like, you know, sometimes we go through things and our voice gets silenced and it gets small because we think that what we have to say isn't important.
Yeah.
So I am just so excited to just be able to help and support people and be in this space where I'm whole, healthy, and happy and free. So yeah,
and healed.
I'm healed, y'all.
Period. Yes, I love it for you.
And I'm not saying that to brag on me.
No, listen, you boast in the Lord. You boast in the Lord.
Bragging on Jesus.
Yes, that's right.
Oh my!
That's
oh,
it.
so now you have two. Two are there. What's the number 3?
Are they all up? Did we wake them all up?
The other one ain't up yet.
Listen, she said, "Y'all go ahead. Y'all go ahead. I'll be right here."
This is these two, but good with that.
Mario, Schivane, thank you guys so much. We kept you
Thank
long
you.
enough.
Yeah.
I didn't even know where he was gonna go when I called you guys to be on, what direction it's gonna go. But ultimately, your story is beautiful, and it's also a testament of your love, also.
Yeah.
In terms of love talk. So thank you guys for coming, guys. Give it up if you're still here. Show some love. Drop something.
And thank the babies. Thank you, babies, for allowing us to have mommy and daddy.
You can actually go on my website and set up like consultations. It's just ShivaneBonhomme.com. You can just set up consultations. You can buy merchandise. Oh, another thing I wanted to say about this one in particular, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of Dear Infertility, God is Greater. There are a lot of people that want to go through IVF, IUIs, but that can't afford it. What's happening is majority of the proceeds of this specific merch will go towards a grant that will allow someone to help them with their fertility treatments, whether it be with their medication or with their process. So if you purchase this, majority of all of the proceeds will go towards helping. Every year we have 3 initiatives. One that's helping couples going through infertility. One that's helping moms that just need a getaway because there's so much going on.
And that's so good.
So much. And the other one is to help pregnant and new moms that are in need, helping them set up with diapers for their entire first year, diapers and wipes for their entire first year.
Girl, you ain't playing.
Yeah, all the events, all the merch, everything that I do right now is all purposeful. Like, I'm not really doing anything for my gain, but for me to be able to do more to help more people. So however you support me, just know that you're not just supporting me, you're supporting somebody else. It's like an extension. I'm just like
Ann's mom was here. That's Ann's mom.
Aww.
Thanks, man.
And guess what, y'all? Whatever you're doing, you already have Love Talks with the Garcons backing. We'll pull up for that social emotional piece, that counseling piece. That's what we do. Getting through it piece. So if you're looking, in addition to resources you're providing, I didn't even know you were doing all that before. I honestly did not know, but you already have our backing. We'll show up if available to make sure we are providing that support in terms of the counseling piece also.
Well, definitely. And I love y'all so much, and I'm so thankful for you guys using your platform to not just edify couples to love and stay together, but also to navigate through really hard circumstances that they will be like. Sometimes they'll be faced with that they might not even be anticipating. Because I don't think infertility is something that anyone really expects to go through. So thank you so much for calling on us.
I wanted to say thank you for having us here, but also I want to just continue shining a light on my wife. Like, she's like, to me in my eyes, she's literally Superwoman.
You're trying to shoot up again. He's trying to shoot up.
Listen, give him access. Give him access. Go ahead, Mario. Sorry.
Always positive, optimistic. Like, even when I'm going through it, she always has a word. Like, she's that she's gifted with. She'll give you a word. She'll lift you up. And I just thank God God knew what he was doing. Like, when I prayed for her, God gave me more than what I asked for.
Period. Listen, we got to end on that note. We got to end on that note. He just brought it home, okay?
Because my cheeks can't go any higher.
Right.
Thank you, guys. We appreciate you guys.
Oh,
Again,
wow.
Follow Schivane, and I will put the information on our page also.
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal the clip of them from Helen and share
Not
that.
Helen, baby. Ellen.
Ellen, whatever. So I will put a clip. I'll share it in my story straight from Shivane's page, so you can also find her page. So if you want to see that, make sure you go ahead and follow. And it's not a plug, but it is a plug, but it's really not. I watched the clip. It was very inspirational. So if you're following us, I'm gonna put it in my story later on as soon as we log off. Show them some love one more time.
Thank you guys so much.
thank
You
you
have
so
no
much.
idea how many people you've healed tonight
Yeah.
just by sharing your story.
Yeah.
Guys, connect with her, and we just cannot wait for those affirmation cards.
Yes.
Listen,
Me too. Y'all keep praying because this trademark process ain't cheap.
come on, I believe you. But as you your heart for these mothers, for these women, I pray that God will add to your family. I know you're not doing it for you, but you know how it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. I pray that all these things will be added unto you, and your house will never be in lack, that you will always have what you need to provide for you, your husband, your children, and in abundance. So I pray that for you. Thank you for your heart. Thank you for your story.
I ain't know Ann was prophetic, huh? Go ahead, sis. Go ahead, prophet. Go ahead, prophet. Now, thank you guys so much. We love y'all. Listen, we need to connect. Play date, and all that good stuff.
Adult date, okay?
Adult date. Let's do it.
Thank you guys for always supporting us too. They always come to our galas.
Yeah,
So
we love you
We love
guys.
you guys. So on that note, I'm gonna sign you guys off so we can say goodbye to the people. And people are saying thank you as well.
Thank you guys. They love you. They're praying for you and funding for your seeds to come. Yes.
Instagram, thank you for sharing your story. So appreciate you guys. Love y'all.
Love y'all. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye, babies.
Bye, guys. Thank you for lending us parents.
Woo,
yes,
y'all.
guys. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed the Bonhams, that story. It even touched us because, like I said, I didn't even know that we were still in that space.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for joining. We won't keep you long. Don't forget to follow us on all of our pages on Instagram. We are Love Talks _ the Garcons. We're gonna share I'm gonna put the Ellen,
yes, sir.
Ellen clip in our story on our page. So make sure you follow us so we're able to see it. We are also on YouTube, Love Talks with the Garcons, no space, and follow us on Facebook, Love Talks with the Garcons. On that note, it's a good place to wrap up. Don't forget to subscribe before you log off. And on that note,
Deuces, y'all.
Thank you for joining us. Until next time.